So I will, as we go on, I will let people back into the room if you drop out. So don't worry. The session is also recorded. So I will again share the recording on the WhatsApp group and the link to the YouTube channel as well. Okay, so this morning we're starting off with basically looking at a recap of chapters 1 and 3. Um, Tomorrow we'll continue, so I will send you guys a link again for tomorrow morning at 9. And then I'll check how the week progress. So we might do a session sometime in the week as well. And then again next week or next weekend we will also have a session or two. So let's just get as much prep in for you for the sub so that you guys can ace that. Okay, so how I'm gonna structure this again is and in the end I will combine everything for you guys again that you have one presentation. But basically just going to go through a few theory things. So we are looking at chapters 1 to 3. So it's the variables, types of variables. Then we go into the data presentation of the information. So pie charts, stem leaves, all those kind of things. And then the last one for today then will be going into a bit of probability as well. So when we look at just the basics again, if there might be any of these coming into a theory question, just again, I've grouped everything together for you guys so that the one thing that for me always is important is that just get those two always together and those two. So when we work with populations, we will always refer to the parameters. So parameters will be a population mean, population standard deviation, those kind of things. When we work with a sample, we work with a statistic, and then the words like sample statistic, the statistic of a mean, those things will come out. Okay, so just important again, how I see the sample and the statistic, the two S's together, the population and the parameter, the two P's together, so that you can just, whenever we get a question around that, that we have just that link. Okay, so that's normally how I look at the sample and the population component. Then there's also, when we go into variables, we will always get a question or two around types of variables. So when we look at types of variables, we normally break it up into two types. So we have the quantitative, which again, if you just look at that first component where they say quantity, so that's all your numeric measurements that you can get. So quantitative is linked to.
Re tla bua, ke tla o founela. Ba itse ba re etseditse Zoom meeting yana mo.
Okay, so quantitative is linked to numeric. Then just our quantitative can be broken up. It can be a discrete, so number of people in a class, it must be a number, so 30, 40, 50, 60. It can't be a 15.5 people in a class. Number of defective parts, you can't have a half part. So that is discrete. It is basically a whole number. And when continuous is normally to do with a bit of a measurement. Um, so a weight, a height, distance, temperature, all those kind of things. Then we go into qualitative. Um, Qualitative is about the quality, it's categorical data. Um, and with qualitative, you normally have levels of, so nominal and ordinal. Nominal, you don't get any ordering in it. So then it is normally something like, in which province do you live? In what is your eye color? Um, what is the postal code? What bank are you with? What cell phone provider? Those are all nominal variables. Ordinal has a bit of order in it. So something like order is if you are first, second, third tier. Order also a lot in your areas like police, your security, those kind of things where there's ranking in it. So that is ordinal data. So also if you come first, second, or third, that is order, so it is ordinal data. And then another part of what we need to look at is levels of measurement. Okay, so we had now here nominal, ordinal, discrete, continuous. So we basically look at those and we say, okay, what is the lowest level of measurement? And when the lowest level of measurement is when something is nominal. So you can't do, and I've got another slide. So with nominal, you can't do a lot. So you can basically set up a frequency distribution, but you don't know anything about the median. You don't have anything about the mean standard deviation. So there's nothing in nominal except counting how many are in each group that you can do. When we get to ordinal, then we can do a bit more. So ordinal, there's ranking. Um, so in ordinal, you've got categories, you've got rank, but in ordinal, you can start to work out percentiles and medians. Because you've got the ranking, you can start saying what is the median. The next one is interval. So you've got categories, you've got rank, you've got equal spacing, because something interval is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 5, whatever. So you've got, can do a frequency, you can do medians, you can do um, a lot of the other things. The only thing that you can't do with interval is a ratio. And then the last one, that's the highest level of measurement, is ratio. So with ratio, the thing that you can do extra is you can compare it to a zero. So temperature goes negative, goes positive, there is an absolute zero. So you can bring in the absolute zero when you do ratios. Okay, so again, just a bit of a summary because I know I've got a question or two that we will work through today again that does capture this component in a question. Okay, so we've basically done, if I just quickly recap, this is all part of study unit 1. So it is looking at data and statistics. It's looking at types of variables. It's looking at levels of measurement. Then we go into how we want to visually represent the data. Okay, and when we do visual representation of the data, there's a lot of ways that we can do it. Um, but to be honest, we normally use a few. So you guys would now have seen previously, we use bar charts, we use histograms. They love in the exams to put in a frequency table, um, circle or um, graphs or pie charts. We don't really get a lot of. Um, Sometimes they throw it in, but not a lot. Line graphs, not really. Stem and leaf again. So the ones that really is always in a question set um, is all frequency table, stem and leaf, or the box and whisker. Okay, so again, all these things might be in it depending on um, which ones they like to ask. The diagram that gives you the most information is the stem and leaf. Okay, all the information that you have on a box and whisker, you can get from a stem and leaf. So box and whisker gives you basically a summary of a stem and leaf. So box and whisker will give you a minimum value where we have a minimum in the stem and leaf. The box and whisker will give you the maximum where we have a maximum in the stem and leaf. The box and whisker will give you a quarter one. We can work out what Q1 is. We'll give you, sorry, not there. Where it gives you Q2 or the median, we can work it out. And where it gives you Q3 and we can work it out. So from a stem and leaf, you can actually see more information because now you can also from a stem and leaf, they can ask you which number is the second smallest or the second largest. So they can ask a bit more around the stem and leaf. What I've added for you in this presentation, and again, I will share this right after our session this morning with the recording, so don't worry. Um, is sometimes they ask you guys, okay, so what is the best method um, to to visually show qualitative data? Then you have this component to say, okay, but let's just, I know it's in John's slides, let's just go to the slides, let's see, so that you don't now need to go through your study guide and look at it. So please use this again in your exams. You are allowed to use the information that I share with you guys. So please use it. Okay, so let's go into a bit of just showing again a few things before we get to some of the examples. So frequency table. So again, just some of the wording because again, I know they will ask you guys sometimes what's the frequency. So they will list A, B, C, D, and E and say, what's the frequency of class 30 to 34? Okay, then you know you need to just look at the number. How many are in that group? Sometimes they say, okay, but what's the cumulative frequency? So then when you look at how many are up until that group, sometimes they ask you to work out the cumulative percentage of a frequency or percentage cumulative frequency. Sometimes they ask you to work out the relative frequency. So again, just showing a bit in words and where it is sometimes in the table if they ask a question like that. Okay, so let's then go into the third study. So that was study unit 2, a lot of visual representation. Then we go into study unit 3, where basically we look at you getting your data and now you need to basically summarize it for somebody to understand it. So then we go into measures of central tendency, where we talk about mean, mode, median. So they love to ask that. Then we go into measures of spread or measure of um, variance nearly. So there we look at range, which is maximum minus minimum. We look at variance and standard deviation. We look at interquartile range and coefficient of variation. So again, if you look at how we work out those things, range is just maximum minus minimum. For variance, unfortunately, it is quite a sum to do. So, and for standard deviation, so at a point I will probably look at showing you in Excel, but again, for 1510 that are not allowed to use Excel, um, they will not give you a data set like this to work out. They will, and I think I've included a question like that where they will give you some of the information that you don't need to go and take 10 to 15 minutes to work out something. So we will also focus on that. Then quickly, oh, okay, cool. Lino, I will add the empirical rule to tomorrow's session. That I just want to see if I can get a question on that for you guys as well. Then I will add that to tomorrow's session, with the theory and the question. That then I will cover that in tomorrow's session. So if there's any other questions or specifics that you guys want me also to cover, add it in the chat, and I will then go and look for specifically a question around it, but we'll bring in the theory as well, that you then have both covered, because yeah, what I've seen in a lot of the subs is it is very close to what your previous exam was. So a lot of times it is new numbers and the question is asked a bit bit differently, but it is normally the same context. So if there's other questions, 1510 and 1610, that you guys want me to focus on, please just put it in the chat, and I will get a question and a theory around that. So empirical rule, yeah, I'll put it in tomorrow's session, that we will quickly cover that and then continue with some of the other study units. Cool. Okay, so quartile formula, and you guys will also see I've put in a different formula as well, but quartile formula, yeah, just again, if you need to work out the position, you do it with this formula. Then if you need to get the number or the value, you will need to go to your data with this position in mind and get to the data. Coefficient of variation, sometimes one misses it in the study guide, so just added it here as well. And then a lot of time in a question, they will have a few data information to say, yes, the data, the mean is this, the standard deviation is this, the range is this, the data is positively skewed, the data is negatively skewed, or something like that. So I thought, again, this is a nice quick slide to show you guys when it's positively skewed, how does the data normally sit. It's normally the mode, median, mean. Positively skewed is exactly the same as right skewed. So they use those words again interchangeably. So sometimes they say something is positively skewed. Sometimes they say it is skewed to the right. And then just on the other side, negative and left is exactly the same. Okay, so just those two, so that if we get something like that, um, you have it on hand as well. Okay, so let's go through a few examples. So this one again specifically included it because of a statistic. So statistic we know goes with sample. Okay, so that's the first thing I will note for myself when I see a question like this. Which one of the following statements is incorrect with regard to a statistic? So a statistic is an estimate of a population parameter. Okay, so now we go to population parameter. A statistic, so I'm just putting that there. A statistic represents a property of a population and not that of a sample. Okay, so that one we know is incorrect. A statistic is a summary measure calculated from a sample. So that we know is correct. A sample standard deviation is a statistic. That is correct. A sample mean is a statistic. That is correct. So let's look at that first one. So statistic is an estimate of a population parameter. So remember, and the easiest to show it is to say we will have a population, and whenever we do work, we will say we will take a sample of that population. So the sample then is going to be an estimate of this population. So the statistic is an estimate of a population parameter, which is correct. Okay, because we take a sample of the population, we never going to look at a total population in a study. Look at the census was supposed to be a population measurement counting everybody. It never happened. So it's very difficult to always get to the total population. So even if it is population of stats first year or stats 1610 students, to get to everyone and say, well, everyone must be in a session, that's not even going to happen. But in this room today, we've got a very nice sample of the 1610 population. Okay, so just remember, statistic is an estimate of a population parameter. Okay, so then what I thought also to include is things around variables. And again, how they will mix it up. So sometimes, and I just want to go back to the diagram, sometimes they ask it pure clean, nearly to say, give you options and say which one, this is a quantitative, this is a qualitative. So sometimes it's very clean where they say quantitative discrete, quantitative continuous, but also sometimes they will mix and match. So we've got categorical, numerical, so that's for one level. Then we go down quantitative continuous, so that's the next level. Numerical, then qualitative. So they nearly, in this question, we go at the top level and then we break it down a bit. And then you will also see here they talk categorical, numerical, and then the next question they talk quantitative. So again, from that diagram, they talk numeric, categorical, and then they use the other terms as well. So again, just realize and link those two together, that it's not new terms or new things that they bring in. So let's just, which one of the following statements is incorrect? Quantitative variables takes on values, so quantity and value, so that's is right. With equal units, examples like numeric values that indicate how much or how many. Okay, so that is all correct. So that one is definitely correct. Variables can be classified as categorical or numerical. Okay, so that's the two. So that is correct. Quantitative, so quantity, continuous variables results from counting. Okay, so it's not counting. It is measurement. So continuous is measurements where discrete is counting. Numerical variables can be discrete or continuous. That is correct. Qualitative, so now we're going into the quality. Qualitative or categorical uses labels or names to describe, which is also correct. So basically the one that is incorrect is option 3, because that should have read quantitative discrete variables result from counting. So just in that small word is the mistake. So again, Okay. Then the scale one, that also important. So that is nearly the third component of study unit one. Again, they ask incorrect. So also just, as always, just be on the lookout for when it is incorrect, when it is asked correct. Sometimes they do 3 or 4 questions in a row incorrect, and then throw in a correct question, and then one can also get caught off guard with that. So a nominal scale of which one of my statements is incorrect with regard to variables and the scale of measurement. Okay, a nominal scale of measurement is the weakest form while a ratio is the strongest. Remember, nominal is at the bottom, normally nominal, ordinal. We'll get to a third one now, and ratio. So nominal is weakest, ratio is the strongest. The mean and median cannot be determined for nominal. So for nominal, the mean and median cannot. So here you could have had that table with you and just use that table. Okay, so you could have, let's copy it quickly over, and let's just see if we cover everything in it. I will make it smaller so that we just put it in here. So let's see if we cover everything that they have asked in this question. Okay, so the mean and median cannot be determined. Mean, median, nominal, no, it can't, so that's correct. Quantitative continuous variables result from measuring attributes of an element. Okay, so now they throw in here actually not a scale of measurement, but quantitative continuous. So it's measuring. So that is correct. That should have actually been part of a previous question. So you can see that I also bring in some of the other questions into something like this. Ordinal scale of measurement. So there's ordinal is higher level than interval. So no interval is higher than ordinal. So that one is incorrect. When quantitative discrete variables result from counting, that is also correct. Okay, so for 3 of them, we used this table, and we could get the information that we needed. Okay, so let's go into the next one. I think this is the last one of of study unit one. So majority of rural schools in South Africa in Eastern Cape, KZN and Limpopo, the Department of Basic Education requires your assistance in gathering some of the information to effectively manage their scholar transport system in some of the rural areas. Which one of the following statements is incorrect with regard to type of variables? Okay, so now we go to type of variables and incorrect. Okay, so the age of which learners first enroll at school is quantitative continuous. Okay, so this is a bit of a tricky one again. Um, so they didn't tell us age in years. So my child was first enrolled when he was 6 years and 3 months. Somebody else's child might have been enrolled 6 years, 2 months, and 1 day. So because they don't tell us in which measurement we need to look at, this is a continuous variable. So the same would be for something like distance as well. So the travel time from the learner's home to school, quantitative continuous. Yes, because again, my child might take 1 hour, 15 minutes, 20 seconds. Your child might take 30 minutes and 20 seconds. So again, that is a continuous measurement. It's different again if it was said how many hours and you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, then it is discrete, but otherwise this is, they did not say to us it is in hours. So something different if they have said the number of kilometers or the number of something. When we go to the number of schools requiring, so there, how many schools? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know it is a whole number. Whole number is discrete. So we have a quantitative discrete, which is correct. Okay, whether or not a school is classified as a special needs school is a qualitative nominal variable. Okay, so the way it's classified is yes or no. So in that instance, it will be qualitative nominal. It's different if there was different classifications in special needs. So if it was people that are in wheelchairs, people that are, or students or scholars that are deaf, or something, or blind or something like that, then it's different types of classifications. Here it just says, is the school classified as a special needs school? Yes or no. So there's no ranking in it or anything. So it is just a qualitative nominal. So now we see some ranking. The size of a bus, small, medium, or large. So that's a ranking. So required to transport learners is qualitative, it's correct, but not nominal. This is ordinal. So that is why option E is the wrong one. Okay, so again, this is very similar to some of the slides that we've gone through. Okay, so let's go into questions around study unit 2. So this one, I just quickly want to move a bit so that we can look at that at the last point. So, okay, study unit 2. So tomorrow, just for you guys, tomorrow we will look at the empirical rule. I'll add, and then we'll look at hopefully study unit 4 and 5. That we cover that tomorrow. Okay, so let's look at this one. So we get, and again, they love to do study unit 2 and 3 nearly together. So you get the data visually in a stem and leaf, and then they ask us questions around that. So when I look at this, what I normally will just from the start, I will nearly say, okay, that's my minimum. 117 is my maximum. Okay, so that nearly is my first thing that I would look at. So I would say, okay, smallest number, 84, cool. Okay, but I'm looking for the incorrect one, so that doesn't help. But yes, the range. So 117. Okay, let me see, where's my calculator? 117 minus 84. Okay, so that is 53. Okay, so that one is also correct. The reason why I just start with those two is it's the easiest. Um, so yes, first quartile we can work out, third quartile we can work out, and here they tell us the value of a second quartile. Okay, so those are things that we can work out. So let's look at Q1. And it's n plus 1 divided by 4. Q3, 3n plus 1 divided by 4. Okay, so let's just, but I'm just going to move to that point. Okay, so they didn't tell us how big the sample is. Consider online. Okay, so we first quickly need to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we've got a sample of 50. Okay, so they did not tell us the sample. Sometimes we add the sample in to make it a bit easier. Okay, so we've got 50 plus 1 divided by 4. So again, I must find my calculator, but I don't need to work on my cell phone. 50 plus 1 is 51 divided by 4 is 12.75. Okay, so we know that we round it off, so we don't need to work out what's 12.75. We will look for variable number 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13, that gives us number 96. Value of the first quartile is 96. Unfortunately, also correct. Let's look at this one, quarter 3. So it's 3, 50 plus 1 divided by 4. It's 3 times 51 divided by 4 gives us 58.25. So that value is going to be value of 58. So let's look at 58. So that was 13, 14. Sure. Okay. Value of that is 106. Very easy, one can get to 107. So if you set, let's round it up to 39, you would have gotten 107, but the incorrect one is then option 3 because it needs to be 106 because we're looking at that value, which is value 38. This one is very close, so very easily to make a mistake with this one because one can very easily say, okay, I'm going for the round up to 39 and then make the mistake of using 107. Okay, and then let's just look at that one in the middle. The value of a second quartile is given by the average of those two, but let's use the formula as well. So 2 times 51 divided by 4, that's 25.5. And if you look at what's in the middle of 25 and 26, it is 25.5. That is correct. Okay, so in this question, they visually give us the data in a stem and leaf, and then from that, they ask us to work out basically the quartiles. They will not ask you guys, if this was an exam question, to work out the mean. The mean with this, then you need to add everything, 15 numbers, that they will not ask. They might have asked you what the mode is. Let's quickly see those of 3, that is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it seems like there's 500 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 503, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so interesting with this one is this is multi, and that's probably why they haven't asked it, multimodal, because you actually got three modes. So 100, there's 5 of them. 103, there's 5 of them. 107, there's 5 of them. So that's probably why they haven't asked us this. But this would have been a multimodal. So 100, 103, and 107 are the modes. Okay, so let's go into another one of these. So again, looking at the data, this time the data is not ordered. Stem and leaf is ordered. This data is just given like this. Okay, so things that you might do wrong if you don't order the data is you might get the minimum and maximum wrong. You might then get the range wrong. The mean will not be a problem. The median you might get wrong because you are saying somewhere here in the middle and it might not be. So very important that we order the data first. So smallest number is actually 67. So we have that. Largest number is 112. And so let's check if there's, so let's see. Range should then be 112 minus 67. Okay, so that is correct. 112 minus 67. Okay, so unfortunately, that is not the one we can get away with, so we need to work out the rest. Okay, so let's put in the rest of the order. Looks like there's 86. There's another 80. Oh, there's 85. So let's easy to make the mistakes. Okay, so there's 186. There's 286. Okay, so that I'm already just highlighting that because it might be a mode. So let's look at the others. Others in 80. Okay, so there's a 88. Another 88. So again, those two might be the we need two modes. There is a 91. There is a 94. There is a 101. And two 109s. So again, mode. So in this one, we actually got three modes. There are two modes. Incorrect. There are three. So that is your third mode. So actually, we don't now need to work out the more difficult ones. So again, in an exam question, if you've done this up until this point, you're actually scoring a bit of time. I am going to show you how to do the other ones because it is important. So to get to interquartile range, we need to get what is the value of Q1. So it's not going to go away. We need to get the value of Q3. So we are going to work that out. So let's just, I think there was 10, but let's just 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, there's 12. So 12 plus 1 is 13 divided by 4. 13 divided by 4 is value 3.25. So we know that we use the third one. That is 86. Then again, that was 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 times 3 is 59 divided by 4. 59 divided by 4 is 9,75. So we need to get to value 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is 109. So to get to the interquartile range, it is 109 minus 86, which is equal to 23. So let's just check. There it is. It's correct. Median is the one in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's between 88 and 91. So let's just quickly do that different color. So that's the median. So we can just say 88 plus 91 divided by 2. That's the shortcut, 88 plus 91 divided by 2. That will give us 89.5, which is also correct. The mean I'm not going to work out now, but the mean you basically need to add all of them and divide by 12. So 67 up until 112, divide by 12 to get to the mean, but it is supposed to be that number as well. Okay, so next one is a bit of a mix. So let's quickly read and then see. Some personal and school-related information was collected on learners requiring scholar transport, and there's the variables. Then they ask us for which variables is it possible to determine median. Okay, progress at school. Example, satisfactory and not satisfactory. Is it possible to work out a median for that? Okay, so I would say yes, because the one that has the most numbers is the median. No, that's mode, sorry. Median. Is it possible? Progress at school, satisfactory and not. Okay, so that is, that's a difficult one. So let me bring this in so that we can just make 100% sure. Okay, so that one I'm gonna first skip. I'm not 100% sure yet. Sex assigned at birth, female, intersex, and male. So that is a nominal variable. So nominal, no, we can't. So no, so let's just see all the ones that has 2 we can eliminate. Okay, so we left with these 3. Okay, so let's then list of subjects enrolled for. Okay, so you've got a list of subjects that you are enrolled for. So again, it's nominal because you are enrolled for stats, eco, financial stuff. So that's just a list. I don't know anything else about it. There's no order. It's just nominal. So free is also not part of it. Okay, there's no frees that I can cancel out here. Then number of subjects enrolled for. Okay, that now becomes a bit different because some of you are enrolled for 1, others are 3, others are 6, others are 7. So we're now starting to go into interval. So yes, we can do 4. It's not that one. Emotional, and so that is all ratios. So definitely we can do that. Now it's between 1 and I'm sorry, but I am going to go for E here as the correct one. It's looking only at those 2. That progress at school is nominal, so that is also incorrect. So that again is nominal. We've done the nominal. Where was it? Way back where it was also looking at a yes or no. So yeah, I will also go with E. So that one is nominal. That one is nominal. And that one. So all 3 of these are are nominal. And then if you go to the nominal, you can't do the median with nominal, but you can do with the interval and the ratio. Okay. It was different if this one was some kind of order. So if it was ranked in classifications of A, B, C, D, or E. Okay, so then it would have been different. Okay, so let's go to another one. This I've used a few times for the stat 1610 guys. But I think it's also important for 1510 because this is how you would also look at your some of your questions because you're not allowed to use Excel. But for 1610, this is how they would also give a question like this to you because they're not going to go that you need to work out a sample of 50 to work out a population variance or anything like that. So you don't need to worry that a question like this will be asked to you that you don't get some other information. Okay, so we get here the sum of squared deviations. So we, in that formula, I think this is how that formula nearly looks like. So that is for the population and the sample is n minus 1 for the sample. So that's sample, that's population. So they now have given us information at the top. So they've told us that is your squared. So for the population variance, we're basically going to work out what that number is, and then for the standard deviation, we'll just square that or take the root of it. So 406.369 divided by 50 will give us the population standard, or first, sorry, the population variance. Population variance. Okay, so they made a mistake with that one. It should be 8.127 and not 7.127. So if we then take the square root of that to get to your standard deviation, we get 2,851. Okay, so there's your population standard deviation. That is correct. We are looking for the incorrect one. So there we have the incorrect one already. But again, I want to show you guys all of them. The variance is equal to the standard deviation squared that you can see here. The sample variance. Okay, so the sample variance is now the 406.369 divided by n minus 1. So it's divided by 49. So let's see, 406.369 divided by 49. That is equal to 8,293. Let's just hope 8,293. And if we take then the standard, the square root of 8,239, we will get that this sample standard deviation is 2,880. Okay, so again, you would not need to now at all need to work this out for each value and then add it and things like that. They will not do that. So for standard deviations or variances, they will nearly give you the information that's needed, that you can work it out with a formula. Because to go and type for 1610, to go and type in already 50 numbers, that already takes you quite some time. So they will not nearly do that to you guys. Then I've included this one specifically because it's linked to this set of data. So let's just let's just copy some of this information over. But it was asked in all the, and I'll move it around now. It was asked in your assignments. I think it was in the mock exam. So it's one of those that we don't see it in the study guide. It is in the textbook. It's somewhere in nearly in very small font where they talk about it. So that's why I thought, let me just include it again, because I'm always worried that they ask this in the exam and then one use the wrong formula, because we've been talking about interquartile range, we've been talking about the limits and quarter one, quarter three, but now consider the data set, calculate the lower limit of the box plot. So lower limit is not quarter one. So lower limit is basically, if you look at this formula, the lower limit is quarter one minus your 1.5 times your interquartile range. Okay, so if you look at this by using interquartile range, limits are located. The limits for the box plot are 1.5 interquartile range below Q1. So that's the lower limit. If you wanted the upper limit, because that again, they can ask, that is quarter three plus 1.5 interquartile range. Okay, so that is why I just wanted to include it again. We've worked out interquartile range as 23, so I'm going to use it from the previous question. Now I can delete all of this. Okay, so just going to, so quartile range, interquartile range was 23. So Q1 minus 1.5 interquartile range. I'm going to write out the Q3 as well. Sometimes it is actually also asked in some of the previous papers, but one just have a view of it. And so Q1 we knew was 86. So 86 minus 23. 86 minus 23 is 63. So why did that now not work out? Let me just, again, 1.5 times 23, sorry. It's 34.5. Okay, so this was 51.5. And so that's your lower limit. If we needed to do it for the upper limit, remember Q3 was 109. Then we will say plus 1.5 times the interquartile range. So 1.5 times 23 is equal to 34.5 again, plus 109. So the top one would have been 143.5. Okay, so that is how we would do this. So just, I know this was asked a few times in last year when we did assignments and mock exams and everything. And every time, the first time I saw a question like this, I also went to work out quarter one. I was looking at lower limit as quarter one and not as actually the limits of the box plot. So I just thought this again, that they don't catch us out in the exam. Okay, last one for today, and then tomorrow we will continue with study unit 4 and 5 and a bit of explanation on the empirical rule. The chat is, you can again leave something in the chat if I need to look at it at something specific before the before you write. You can also put on my WhatsApp chat. You can ask a question as well that we need to look at it. So please don't worry, just ask. I think again, we need to make sure that you guys pause this. So please just ask questions, and I will then look at it in the sessions. Okay, so let's look at this one. Which one of the following statements is incorrect with regard to positions of quartiles? Assume the observations are increasing order. Okay, so we need to basically look at the formula. So the first one is quartile 1, it's n plus 1, so 50 plus 1 divided by 4. So 15 plus 50 plus 1 divided by 4 gives us 12.75. So in a sample size 50, the position of Q1 is given by the 13th observation. So we will round that off to 13. So that is correct. So now in a sample of 51. The position of a median, so it is 2. So 51 plus 1 is 52. 52 times 2 is 104. Divided by 4 is 26. So in the sample size of that, observation 26 is correct. Okay, now we go to Q2 again. Now the sample size is 50. So 50 plus 1 divided by 4 is given by observation 26. So let's just check. 50 plus 1 is 51. 51 times 2 is 102. 102 divided by 4 is 25.5. And remember, Q2 is the one we don't round off, so that should actually be 25.5 and not 26. And so that's the incorrect one, but let's just make 100% sure about the others. In a sample of 50, now we're going to Q3. In a sample of 50, Q3 we multiply by 3 and divide by 4. So now again, 50 plus 1 is 51. 51 times 3 is 153. 153 divided by 4 is 58.25. 58.25, round off to 58. Okay, we'll bring that in tomorrow into this session, third quartile. Okay, that's an interesting one. So just drop in more. Oh yes, sorry, now let me, while we quickly looking at this one, let me just quickly give you the link to my WhatsApp as well. Okay, so while we do the third one, I'm just quickly opening WhatsApp to, so again, here we look for Q1. And so you can just click on that link on the WhatsApp, and you will get added to the group. Else I will add you to the WhatsApp group as well. Or you can just send me a WhatsApp on 0837908387. Okay, so let's look at the last one. Q1, so 51 plus 1 divided by 4. So there's like a hidden one, but that doesn't influence our calculation. So 51 plus 1 is 52, divided by 4 is observation 13, and there we have it. Okay, so here the incorrect one was looking at that Q2, because you don't round off that the median, you keep it as you get it. Okay, so I'll add, I'll add the empirical theory to tomorrow. I'll add this one to the session tomorrow as well. Then please, you can, if you're not on my WhatsApp group, just click on the link for what I've posted in the chat for the link to the WhatsApp group, or you can use my cell phone number and send me a WhatsApp. So I will, in the next, I will also forward this presentation to the group. I'll send you the recording as well. The recording is loaded onto my YouTube channel, where there's lots of other recordings as well. And then what I'm just going to do is this session will now be moved to tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So we will just tomorrow continue study unit 4 and 5. So that will be the focus for tomorrow. And then just for one or two extra questions that was asked today. But again, please use the WhatsApp group. You can ask questions on there that I need to cover. So we will probably, so we have a session tomorrow. We will have a session next week during the week as well, afternoon, evening session around 5 o'clock. And then next weekend, we will have more sessions and before you write as well. So don't worry, we will work through everything, and everything is recorded, that you also have the recordings to listen to. Okay, guys. Yeah, good luck with the prep for this one. And yeah, I'll share the recording with you now. I'll share the presentation, and then tomorrow morning again at 9